You just rewrote your money story, not by thinking about it, but by doing the work. One belief, one action, 1 week at a time. Take a deep breath. Look at your completed worksheet. You just did something that most people never do. You looked at your money story. You didn't just think about it, you wrote it down. You connected the past to the present. And you created a plan for the future. Your money story is not your fault. You didn't choose it, but you can change it. And you just started. This is how freedom starts. So here's something that nobody tells you about money. The story that you're living with right now, you didn't write it. You inherited it. Somebody handed you beliefs about money before you could even spell the word, before you even had a bank account, before your first paycheck, before you even knew what a bill was. Somebody taught you through stress, through silence, through survival, that money means something. And you've been living that story ever since. But here's the good news. Your money story is not your identity. It's just a script that you've been reading. And today, we are going to rewrite it. Welcome back to Plugging the Leaks Because Broke is Boring. I'm Danielle. I'm the founder of My Money Enterprises, the creator of Tradelandia, and your emotionally grounded budget coach. Before we go any further, I want you to hit pause right now, go to the show notes, download the My Money Story worksheet, print it out if you can, or pull it up on your phone or your tablet, grab a pen, and then come back and hit play. This episode is interactive. You're not just going to listen to me talk about money stories. You're going to work through your own money story with me. I'll walk you through it each section. I'll give you time to write, or you can use the pause button and come back. And then by the end of this episode, you'll have completed your entire money story worksheet. So go get it right now, and I'll be right here when you get back. All right, so you've got your worksheet. Let's do this. But before we dive into today's episode about the past, the present, and the future of your money story, I want to thank Connie Davis with Maiden Exploration for sponsoring the Unlocking Commerce Podcast Accelerator. So do me a favor, go like, subscribe, and comment on the Unlocking Commerce channel. Check out the other cohort episodes. Support the work that makes voices like mine possible. All right, y'all, let's talk about this money story that you've been living with. The past is where your money story comes from. So you probably formed your money story before the age of 7. Like 7, before you could even do long division, before you understood interest rates or credit scores, before you had any idea what financial stability actually looked like. You learned money through observation. You watched how your parents talked about money or didn't, whether bills caused fights or silence, if there was enough or if enough never came, whether asking for things felt safe or shameful, if money was power or if money was pain. And your brain took notes. It said, okay, this is what money means. This is how we survive. This is what's safe. And those beliefs, they are still running in the background today. So I have a past client that came to me frustrated, and she said, I make good money now, but I'm terrified to spend it. I have savings, but I still feel broke. I can't enjoy anything that I buy. So I asked her, what did money mean in your house when you were growing up? And she said, well, my mom worked 3 jobs and we still couldn't keep the lights on. Money meant survival. And there was never enough. There it is, her childhood belief. There's never enough. Money disappears. And even though her adult reality is different, her nervous system is still living in that story. And that is not a spending problem. That's an inherited belief. So here are some of the most common money stories that people inherit. There's never enough. This belief creates a scarcity mindset. Even when we have money, you're waiting for it to disappear. You hoard it. You panic. You can't even enjoy what you have. Because in your nervous system, the fear of running out is always louder than the reality of what's in front of you. Rich people are greedy or selfish. This one keeps you small. Because if you believe that having money makes you a bad person, you will subconsciously reject wealth. You'll undercharge, you'll overgive, you'll self-sabotage. Because deep down, you are protecting your identity as a good person. I'm bad with money. Someone told you this once. Maybe it was a parent or a partner or a teacher, and you believed them. Now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't even try to budget because that's just not who I am. But it's not true. You're not bad with money. You just haven't been taught. Money is the root of all evil. We've all heard that one, right? Actually, the quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. But somewhere along the way, that first part got dropped. And now money itself gets treated like it's dirty, like wanting it makes you shallow. But money is neutral. It's a tool. What you do with it, that's what matters. If I have money, people will use me. This belief makes you hide your success. It makes you feel guilty for having more than others. It makes you say yes when you really want to say no, because you're afraid that people only want you for your money. I don't deserve nice things. This one hurts because it tells you that comfort, joy, and ease, they're not for you. That you have to earn the right to rest. That struggle is noble and pleasure is indulgent. But you do deserve nice things, not because you're perfect, but because you're human. Money causes problems. Maybe money did cause problems in your house, fights, stress, divorce. So now you keep yourself broke to keep the peace. But money doesn't cause problems. Money reveals what's already there. These aren't facts. These are inherited scripts. And today, we are learning to see them for what they really are. All right, guys, so grab your worksheet. We're going to look at section 1. It's the past, where your money story came from. We're going to work through this together. So I'll read each prompt. I'll give you some time to think, and you can write that down, whatever comes up. Use the pause button if you need more time. You ready? Okay, action step 1. Name your earliest money memory. Think back. What's the first time that you remember showing up in your money showing up in your life? Was it stressful, exciting, shameful, confusing? Write it down in the space on your worksheet. Okay, action step 2. Ask yourself 3 questions. Growing up, was money talked about openly or avoided? Who controlled the money in your home, and what do you remember about that? What did you learn about people who had money, about people who didn't have money? Take your time and write down your answers here. Okay, action step number 3. Write down one belief that you inherited. So I want you to finish this sentence on your worksheet. I grew up believing that money means blank. Write it down. That is your inherited script. And now that you can see it, once you see it, you can question it. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Nice work. All right, let's keep going. So the present, why your money story shows up now. Okay, so your inherited beliefs about money, but how do they show up today? Because you're not 7 anymore. You're an adult with income. responsibilities, goals. But those old beliefs, they're still running the show in the background. They show up as avoidance, not looking at your bank account, not opening bills, ignoring the budget, emotional spending, buying things to feel better, safer, seen, or worthy, boundary violations, saying yes to lending money that you don't have, overgiving, rescuing people financially, under-earning, not negotiating, not raising your rates, staying small because you don't believe that you deserve more, self-sabotage, making progress and then blowing it up, getting money and then immediately spending it all. These are not character flaws. These are nervous system responses to old stories. I had a client who was making 6 figures, but every time they hit a savings goal, they'd find a reason to spend it. New car, fancy vacation, helping family. And I asked, what happens inside your body when you see money sitting in your account? They said, I feel guilty, like I don't deserve it, like something bad is going to happen if I keep it. And then they told me, growing up, that their family barely scraped by. Whenever they did get money, like a tax return or a bonus, something broke. The car, the roof, someone got sick. So their childhood brain learned that money doesn't stay. And if it does, something bad happens. Now, as an adult, their nervous system was creating that pattern, spending the money before something bad could happen. That's not bad budgeting. That's a trauma response. So here's the emotional cycle, and here's how it works. First, you have the old belief. It gets triggered. There's never enough. I don't deserve this. And then the emotion shows up. Anxiety, guilt, shame, fear. And then the behavior follows. We avoid, overspend, undercharge, say yes when you mean no. And then the outcome reinforces the belief. See, I told you I was bad with money. The cycle repeats. And the worst part, you think it's your fault. But it's not. It's just an old story playing on repeat. Let me give you an example of how this shows up. You get a bonus at work. Instead of feeling excited, you feel anxious. That anxiety makes you uncomfortable. So you spend the money fast. New shoes, dinner out, helping a friend. Within a week, it's all gone. And then you think, see, I can never hold on to money. I'm bad at this. But you're not bad at this at all. Your nervous system is just acting out an old belief. And now we can interrupt it. So go back to your worksheet, turn to section 2, the present, how your money story shows up today. And this is where we're going to connect the past to right now. So action step 1 is notice your money emotions. Okay, so the first prompt says, think about this last week when you spent money, you received money, or even thought about money. Think about it and ask, what was I feeling? I want you to write down the emotions that came up for you around money. Anxiety, guilt, shame, excitement, fear. Write it in the space that's provided for you. Okay, good. Action step 2, identify your go-to response. Okay, so when money stress showed up, what did you do? Check all of the boxes that apply. Freeze and avoid, spend to feel better, hustle harder, shut down emotionally. Check what's true for you. And in the space below it, write it down. No judgment, just awareness. Okay, action step 3, connect it to the belief. Okay, this is where that you get to connect the dots. Fill in this sentence. When I feel blank, I blank because I believe blank. Here's my example. When I feel anxious, I avoid my bank account because I believe there's never enough. Now rewrite yours. Okay, good. That's your pattern. You just identified it. and now you can interrupt it. So here's the good news. Your money story is not permanent. You didn't write it, but you can rewrite it. Not by pretending that your old story doesn't exist, but by choosing a new one, consciously, intentionally, repeatedly. And here's how. Your childhood belief was formed with childhood information. It might have been true then, but is it true now? Here's an example of an old belief. There's never enough. But question this, is it actually true right now? Do I have food, shelter, a paycheck coming? You're not gaslighting yourself. You're giving your nervous system updated information. You can't delete an old belief, but you can layer a new one on top of it. The old belief that there's never enough can be layered with the new belief that says, I'm learning to manage what I have and create more. The old belief, I'm bad with money, replaced with a new belief that says, I'm learning and learning is not failing. Old belief, money causes problems. New belief, money is a tool and I'm learning to use it with intention. Write your new belief down and say it out loud. Even if you don't believe it yet, your brain will catch up. So beliefs change through action, and you can't think your way into a new money story. You have to behave your way into it. So if your old story is, I can't say no, practice by saying, let me get back to you one time this week. If your old story is, I don't deserve nice things, buy yourself one small thing guilt-free. If your old story is, I avoid my money, look at your bank account for 60 seconds. That's it. Small actions repeated. That's how you rewrite the story. So I have another client. They grew up believing that people like me don't have savings. We survive paycheck to paycheck. That was their family's reality, and it became theirs. Even when they started earning more, they couldn't save. Every dollar disappeared. So we started small, $10 a week into a separate account. That's it. Not because $10 was going to change their life, but because it would change their belief. After 3 months, they had $120. And they cried, not because it was of the amount, but because they proved to themselves that people like me can save. That is a rewritten story. So here is the most powerful part. When you rewrite your money story, you don't just change your life. You change the story for everyone who comes after you. Your kids won't inherit the belief that there's never enough. They'll grow up watching you manage money with intention. They'll see you setting boundaries. They'll hear you talk about money without shame. Your family won't inherit the trauma around money. They'll see you break the cycle of secrecy and stress. And they'll learn that it's possible to change. Your community won't inherit the survival mode. They'll see you thriving, not just surviving. And they'll believe it's possible for them too. You break the cycle. Not by being perfect, not by having it all figured out, but by being intentional, by choosing differently, by doing the work to heal. And that work, it's not just for you. It's for every generation that comes after you. And that is legacy work. That's freedom work. And you are doing it right now. All right, so the final section of your worksheet, turn to section 3, the future, how to rewrite your money story. This is where transformation happens. Action step 1, pick one old belief to challenge. Look back at section 1 where you wrote down your inherited belief. Now write it again in the space provided in section 3. This is the belief that you're going to challenge. Action step 2, write your new belief. Now rewrite it in the present tense. Make it true, even if it feels aspirational. Here's my example. The old belief is, I'm bad with money. The new belief is, I'm learning to manage money with intention. Now write yours in the space on the worksheet. Okay, action step number 3, take one new action. Now, the final question, what's one small behavior that you can do this week that aligns with your new belief? Write it down in the space provided. Make it small. Make it specific. Make it doable. Perfect. You just rewrote your money story. Not by thinking about it, but by doing the work. One belief, one action, 1 week at a time. So take a deep breath. Look at your completed worksheet. You just did something that most people never do. You looked at your money story. You didn't just think about it, you wrote it down. You connected the past to the present. And you created a plan for the future. Your money story is not your fault. You didn't choose it, but you can change it. And you just started. This is how freedom starts. Your money story is not your identity. It's just a script that you've been reading. And today, you started rewriting it. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. And the next chapter, you get to write that. So, if you want to go deeper and you want more support rewriting your money story, I have 2 resources for you. Apply for one-on-one Plug the Leaks coaching. If you are wanting personalized support to dig into your money story, identify the leaks, create a plan to rewrite it, I do offer a limited number of one-on-one coaching spots. I'm being selective about who I work with one-on-one because this work is deep and I want to make sure that we're a good fit. So if you're ready to do the work, fill out the application in the show notes. I'll review it and we'll see if coaching together makes sense. And the second resource is this worksheet. If you didn't finish the worksheet during the episode, go back and complete it. And if you did finish it, keep it. Revisit it. Every week, every month. Evaluate it and see what's changed. See what new beliefs you've practiced. This is ongoing work. It's not a one-time thing. The worksheet link is in the show notes if you need to download it again, or you can share it with someone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this podcast and the Unlocking Commerce channel. Supporting them supports me and maybe your voice next. Share this episode with someone who needs it. I'll see you next month.